may I humbly request that the brothers come as far to the front as is possible. You can even come here. This podium is going to get moved so that those who are arriving later on have ample space to sit. Also, a humble request to the sisters. There is a crash facility available. If you have young children who will be better settled in a quieter atmosphere, then please feel free to go and use the crash. Also, a humble request to keep the conversations in the Majlis to a minimum. I've said this repeatedly and I'll say it again today. The host of this Majlis is Zahra alayhi salam. She's the one who attends to accept the condolences from the mourners of her son. So for the respect of Zahra alayhi salam, please, for the sake of the Holy Lady, please try and maintain the decorum of this Majlis. It's a very humble request from a very humble and lowly person, please. Salawat. I'd now like to invite Brother Aqil to come forth and open this Majlis by reciting a few verses of poetry.
Brothers, sisters, aunties and uncles, please accept my most heartfelt condolences on this day to you all. The poem I am going to recite and have written for you today focuses on the relationship of Bibi Sakina alayhi salam. Who was Bibi Sakina alayhi salam? She was Imam Hussein's youngest daughter and his most beloved child. So much so that he was often heard saying, "A house without Sakina is not worth living in." And just like any other 4-year-old, whenever she wanted to sleep, she would always request the company of her father. Imam Hussain would go to her room. He would tell her stories of all the previous prophets. He would tell her stories of his father, Imam Ali, until she would peacefully fall asleep on his chest. On the 2nd of Muharram, when Imam Hussein's camp was stopped by the enemy, it was on this day that Imam Hussain narrated to Bibi Zainab that now's the time where you need to get Sakina used to sleeping without me being there. However, every night she would still innocently follow her father, and he would have to gently take her to her mother's room instead. On the day of the 10th, she was often seen consoling other family members for the loss of their loved ones. She would wrap her little arms around them and do what she can to give peace in their hearts. However, after the death of her father, she forgot to smile. The people of Kufa narrate that they saw Sakina as a very somber girl. She was always lost in her own thoughts. She knew that her weeping would upset her mother, so whenever she would cry for her father, she would always do it silently and in private. It wasn't just her father she cried for though, as she was very close to her uncle Abbas. So much so that on the way to Karbala, Abbas was often seen riding to the carriage that held Bibi Sakina just to check she's got everything she needed. If she needed anything, he'd always get it for her. But she would always cry quietly for them until she was in the dungeon of Sham and she had a dream about her father. He came to her and said, "Soon, my daughter, you'll be with me." She woke up hysterical, crying her eyes out, screaming, saying, "Where's my father? He was just here, where is he?" And it was this cry that woke the demon Yazid from his sleep. He woke up, asked his guard, "Who's crying? Why are they crying?" The guard relayed the message that it's Sakina, she cries for her father. This demon knew what he was going to do. You can look this up. Science will tell you that when a person feels so much grief, the tendons around the heart, they break and snap, making a person literally die from heartbreak. So he ordered the guard, take her father's head and give it to her. The guard put the holy head of Imam Hussain on a platter, covered it with a cloth, took it down to the dungeon of Sham. Her innocent mind, when she sees this, she says, "Oh man, I didn't ask for food. I just want to see my father." Nevertheless, he puts the platter on the floor. She removes the veil and finds the head of her Holy Father. She takes it, she caresses his head, kisses his lips, isolates herself in a corner. What happens? What does she say? "Oh Father, what do I tell you? Do I tell you how I missed the times I would walk holding your finger? Do I tell you how I missed the days walking through Medina? Do I tell you seeing you smile was a grace from Allah? Do I tell you sitting in your lap was like sitting in the masalla? Or do I tell you the slaps I've endured to the bone? Or do I tell you how badly I crave to go home? Oh Father, what do I tell you? Do I tell you I'm okay and everything is fine? Or do I tell you how yesterday I slept on your chest and today you sleep on mine? Do I tell you my memories of playing games with my baby brother? Or do I tell you my memories of being whipped and beaten by the others? Oh Father, what do I tell you? Do I tell you my heart cannot bear this separation? Or do I tell you how cruelly I was treated by your nation? Do I tell you how I long just to embrace you? Or do I tell you with this broken body of mine, I'm ashamed to face you? Oh Father, what do I tell you? I tell you nothing, my love, in fear of breaking your heart. I tell you nothing, my love, I've been fine from the start. I tell you I've suffered no pain, so please be in peace. I tell you your daughter is strong, like you raised her to be. Oh Father, I'm sorry, but my heart cannot lie. Please save me from this, for all I do is cry. I don't want to trouble you out of my love, but I wish to see my best friend again, my dearly beloved. Ah, there you are, with arms open to embrace me. My dreams have come true, for all I have had is nightmares lately. Let me leave this world with you, and please don't bring me back. Thank you, my love, for taking me. It is the first time in days I have not felt a bone crack. Salawat.
Thank you, Brother Aqil. Can I kindly request the brothers again, a humble plea, move forwards so that those coming later on have space. A reminder again from Brother Faiz that although today there isn't an organized crash facility on offer, there is a live stream available in the other hall where mothers or fathers even with their young kids can sit and listen to the Majlis. Is Sayyid Bukhari in the audience? I'd like to request Sayyid Bukhari to come forward and give his tribute to Imam Hussain.
Dīgar salawat. पड़े हैं बेकफन लाशें कहीं, बेटे कहीं भाई, पड़े हैं बेकफन लाशें कहीं, बेटे कहीं भाई, पराए देश में ज़ैनब पे कैसी शाम गम आई, पराए देश में ज़ैनब पे कैसी शाम गम आई, पड़े हैं बेकफन लाशें कहीं, बेटे कहीं भाई। उठा एक शोर पानी ले चले अब्बास खैमों में, उठा एक शोर पानी ले चले अब्बास खैमों में सकीना दौड़ कर बेशीर का कूजा उठा लाई। गला कटता रहा शबीर का आगोश मादर में। गला कटता रहा शबीर का आगोश मादर में। दिले ज़हरा से पूछो शिम्र के खंजर की गहराई। दिले ज़हरा से पूछो शिम्र के खंजर की गहराई। बहन की याद में कुछ इस तरह तड़पा हुआ दिल था। बहन की याद में कुछ इस तरह तड़पा हुआ दिल था। सीना भी सीनाए अकबर से घबरा कर निकल आई। पराए देश में ज़ैनब पे कैसी शाम गम आई। पड़े हैं बेकफन लाशें।
Shukriya Bukhari Sahab. Please thank him by reciting a salawat. अब मैं दरख्वास्त करूँगा काज़मी साहब से कि वो तशरीफ़ लाएं. I'd now like to request Kazmi Sahab to walk to the front and pay his tribute to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Please recite a salawat for him as he walks up.
छाने लगी शाम-ए-ग़रीबा, हाय क़यामत का है समा। छाने लगी शाम-ए-ग़रीबा, हाय क़यामत का है समा। ख़ैमे सादात से उठा धुआं, हाय क़यामत का है समा। छाने लगी शाम-ए-ग़रीबा, हाय क़यामत का है समा। ढल गया दिन ख़त्म लड़ाई हुई, मौत की खामोशी है छाई हुई। चाक ग़रीबान खुदाई हुई, खाक बसर फ़ातिमा जाई हुई। लर्ज़ी ज़मी काँप उठा आसमां, हाय क़यामत का है समा। नूर नज़र राज दुलारे ज़ैनब दिलगीर के प्यारे गए, शाह के अंसार भी मारे गए, आस थी जिन पर वो सहारे गए, लूट लिया मौत ने ये कारवां, हाय क़यामत का है समा। खून में है तर शेर जरी का अलम, हो गया शब्बीर का सर भी कलम, खुशियाँ मनाने लगी फौजे सितम, गम से तबाह हाल है अहले हरम, लुट गई कौनैन की शहजादियाँ, हाय क़यामत का है समा। हाय ये बेचारगी हाय ये बेचारगी ये बेकसी, देता नहीं इसको दिलासा कोई, दरमिया लाशों के अकेली खड़ी, कहती है बच्ची कोई सहमी हुई, ढूंढने जाऊं तुम्हें बाबा कहाँ, हाय क़यामत का है समा। ख़ेमा सादात से उठा धुआं, हाय क़यामत का है समा। छाने लगी शाम-ए-ग़रीबां, हाय क़यामत का है समा। दुरूद पढ़ें बाबा।
Shukriya, Kazmi Saab. Please pray for Kazmi Saab and recite a salawat for him, and may he continue to come to these majalis, and may he continue to recite for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Salawat. I'd now like to request Sayyid Khamis to step forwards and pay his tribute to Aba Abdullah al-Hussein and his family. Please welcome him with a salawat.
फिर भी सलावत। मुजराए खल्क में इन आँखों ने क्या क्या मुजराए खल्क में इन आँखों ने क्या क्या देखा, कहीं से ते पैगंबर सना का देखा मुजराए खल्क में मैंने देखा laments शाह को आलूदाए खून मैंने देखा laments शाह को आलूदाए खून मैंने अब्बास को बेजान लबे दरिया देखा मुजराए खल्क में मैंने देखा अली असगर का गला खून में तर मैंने देखा अली असगर का गला खून में तर मैंने ज़ख्मी अली अकबर का कलेजा देखा मुजराए खल्क में एक गठड़ी शहदी पुश्त पे लाए जिसमें एक गठड़ी शहदी पुश्त पे लाए जिसमें मैंने टुकड़े हुए कासिम का सरापा देखा मुजराए खल्क में हाय क्यों हो ना गई कोड़ के इन आँखों ने हाय क्यों हो ना गई कोड़ के इन आँखों ने कैद खाने में सकीना का जनाजा देखा मुजराए खल्क में जाके ज़ैनब ने मदीने में कहा सुग़रा से जाके ज़ैनब ने मदीने में कहा सुग़रा से कहूँ किस मुँह से के परदेस में क्या क्या देखा मुजराए खल्क में अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद.
Thank you, Brother Khamis. Please thank him again with the last salawat. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, as you're aware, this is our final Majlis here for this season of Muharram, for this Ashura with Sayyid Mahdi. You've seen the swan gliding across the lake. This is an analogy, it's a metaphor. Everything has gone smoothly. We've had minimal disruption in these programs. We've had a fantastic turnout. Everything has worked out, mashallah. But as the swan has been gliding across the lake, underneath the water, it has been viciously trying to swim. And this is a reflection of the efforts of all the volunteers, which you may or may not have noticed, who have been working in the background. So I wish to take this opportunity to thank Brother Faiz and Brother Faiz's team. I want to thank Brother On and his hard work. I want to thank Sister Fizza for her hard work in the crash. I want to thank Sister Benazir and her husband who've been at the reception. I want to thank all the younger brothers and sisters who have been running the stalls and giving out the tabarruk and organizing this hall and clearing up afterwards. I want to thank Sister Fahima, Sister Maryam, Brother Ali Hussaini. I want to thank Sister Rabia, Brother Yasir. I want to thank Atar Bhai for arranging all the tabuts and the shabis for these nights. I also want to thank the team from Sterling who've been doing the AV for us. Brother Jawad, I want to thank Brother Ali Sumar, who's brought the guys from Sterling over. I want to thank all the reciters, Sayyid Khamis, all the other reciters, Sirat Abbas, everybody who's taken part, the brothers from the Haydariyun. special mention to the 6 organizations, the Imam al-Mahdi Awareness Campaign, the Islamic Unity Society, the Haydariyun, the Manchester University Ahlebait Society, as well as the 10th Day Imam Hussain Awareness Campaign. Lastly, but by no means the least, I want to thank 2 other brothers. One is Brother Turab, who's made all the live streaming and the AV possible for us, and as well as that, Brother Tathir, who has been instrumental in allowing us to bring Sayyid Mahdi. He's been working hard for the last 3 years in the background to make these programs happen. I know he's very humble and he's probably upset for me saying this, but without him, this wouldn't have been possible. And by no means the least, I want to thank our eminent Sayyid Mahdi al-Modarresi for his thought-provoking, enlightening, heart-rendering addresses to us for the maqtal and for the, in this pandemic, the way he's been able to come. You know, he was stuck in Australia. At one point, we didn't even know whether the Sayyid was going to be able to make it and be with us. So I just want to, I'm just really humbled that, Sayyid, that you're here and that you've recited for us. So just thank you, everybody, and thank the Sayyid by reciting a loud salawat. Just an announcement again. There's a request for Fatiha from the sponsors of tonight's Majlis. That's the parents of Sister Rabia and her brother. So a Fatiha for Haji Meherban Khan, who was a lover of Imam Ali alayhi salam, and her mother Haja Parveen Khan, and her brother Sajid Khan. And we pray to Allah to forgive them and grant them success in the hereafter, and in the name of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, as well as all the anonymous donors who have made this Majlis possible. Please recite Suratul Fatiha. Salawat. I also want to thank Sister Shazia, whose name I forgot. So please thank her with the salawat as well. Just a reminder that Sayyid Mahdi is reciting tomorrow for the Haydariyun at 6:30 p.m. This Majlis will be in Dar al-Hadi, the Iraqi center in Ardwick. So Sayyid will be addressing the Majlis at the Haydariyun, and they will be seen as an imatam after it. So tomorrow at 6:30. And on Sunday, for the Soyam, the third day after, or the second day after Ashura, on the 22nd of August on Sunday, 7 p.m., Sayyid is reciting again for the Imam organization in Burnley. On the flyer it says a 7 p.m. prompt start, but I think the Sayyid will be addressing after Maghrib, and this program will include a question and answer session as well. So that's on Sunday in Nelson for the Soyam, and tomorrow Friday he's at the Haydariyun. Salawat. Could I get the slide up, please? Thank you. Salawat. The orphans of Karbala, on the night of sorrows, calamity upon calamity. When triumphant armies proceed to plunder and pillage, unspeakable things happen. The unimaginable transpires. This army is no different. If anything, these men are more vicious and more twisted. They are already rejoicing at the murder of the Prophet's grandson. The drums are beating, the bugles are blowing, the trumpets are sounding. Alas, their treatment of the Prophet's womenfolk and children will be no different, if not worse. The army jointly proceeds to plunder the tents of the progeny of Rasulullah, looting the veils of the ladies' shoulders, the jewelry from Hussein's sisters, daughters, and nieces. The camp is set ablaze. In the Malayan chaos, many children are missing. Many are crushed to death. Hassan and Hussain are the twin daughters of Zayd ibn Imam al-Hassan. They're the great-granddaughters of Imam Ali. They have just started to walk. The horses trample over them, tearing them into pieces. Sa'id bin Abdullah ibn Aqil is 3 years old. He is also the maternal grandson of Imam Ali. He stands at the door of the tents. A horseman gallops at him. The hooves pound against his delicate body, killing him instantly. Muhammad ibn Abu Sa'id ibn Aqil is 6 years old. He sees Hani al-Hadrami and other men harassing his mother and Lady Zainab. Anxiously, he grabs hold of a tent pole and attacks these men. On horseback, they charge at him. Their sharp blades cut through him as though parting through silk. Safiya bint Muslim ibn Aqil is the three-year-old orphan of Muslim. Her mother is Ruqayya, the daughter of Imam Ali. The men approach the tents. They snatch the jewelry from Ruqayya. Safiya is hiding behind her mother. A wicked man sees a ring on her small fingers. He tries to grab her. A terrified Safiya runs out of the camps. She trips and falls flat on her face. In pain, she cries out to her mother. The man gives chase on horseback. The weight of the horse falls on her, instantly crushing her to death. Lady Zainab reaches Safiya and takes hold of her lifeless body. Zainab and Kulthum, the daughters of Ali, have taken charge to bring some semblance of order to the chaos. They now patrol the wilderness in search of those dispersed in the looting. It is now their turn to carry the bodies, gathering the lifeless children for burial. With the exception of Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein as-Sajjad, there are no men left in the camp. He is in and out of consciousness. They want to murder him in his sickbed. Zainab throws herself on him. Over her dead body, she says, "The daughter of Ali is enraged." They relent. Somewhere else in the desert, Al-Hasan al-Muthanna, the son of Imam al-Hasan, lies gravely injured and unconscious on the battlefield. His maternal uncles come along and secretly smuggle him away in the darkness of the night, and thus the lineage of Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein remain intact, surviving the terrors of this night. The young daughter of Hussein wishes to see her father. In the veils of darkness, she goes out in search of Hussein's body. She beholds her father's body drenched in blood, head severed, robbed of his turban and cloak, a fractured and bent back. She wants to rest on her father's chest, but the bones of his chest have been crushed to powder. Sakina embraces Hussein and falls unconscious. The world ends. Please welcome Sayyid Mahdi Modarresi with the loudest of your voices with the warmest of your salawats to elaborate more. Salawat.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسين صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا اللهم وهب لنا رأفته ورحمته وعونه ودعاءه وخيره ورضاه ما ننال به سعة من رحمتك وفوزا عندك يا كريم السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أبي الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam did two things which seem contradictory, they seem inconsistent. On the eve of Ashura, Imam al-Hussein unequivocally told his companions that I want you to go. You are absolved of your pledges and your oaths and your commitments. إن هذا الليل قد غشيكم فاتخذوه جملا. Go, leave me. And he said this and repeated it over and over again when he addressed his companions together, and multiple times when he spoke to them as individuals. This is one action by the Imam. The second was on the day of Ashura, where the Imam repeatedly said, أَلَا هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنْصُرُنَا أَلَا هَلْ مِن ذَابٍ يَذُبُّ عَنَّا. How do you reconcile these two things? Where on the one hand, Imam Hussain is telling his companions to go, to leave. They have no commitment with him. Yet on the other hand, he kept saying, is there no helper to come and help us? How do you reconcile these two? The answer, my dear brothers and sisters, with a little contemplation is this. On the eve of Ashura, Imam al-Hussain is trying to filter out those who weren't fully committed to his cause. He's trying to weed out anyone who might have been doubtful of their mission. In other words, he is purifying his camp and making sure that those who stay are the best of the best and the purest of the pure. Which is why he later said, إني لا أعلم أصحابا أبر ولا أوفى من أصحابي. I do not know of any companions who are better or more loyal than mine, because I've tested them, I've tried them, I've filtered them. But the mercy of Hussein, remember Imam al-Hussein is a representation and a personification of the mercy of Allah subhanahu. Which is why on the day of Ashura, he was doing the opposite, which is to see if there are any soul worth saving in the enemy camp. He says, أَلَا هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنْصُرُنَا, in case there is someone with a trace of mercy in their heart, with a trace of belief in their heart, so that they could be filtered out as well, so that they could be saved, they could be brought into the light of Hussein, into the orbit of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. My dear brothers and sisters, these last 10 nights, I don't know if we've been able to truly appreciate this opportunity that was made available to us. How many people out there missed out on this opportunity, either because they've passed from this world, or because they happen to be in places where they're not able to attend the gatherings of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. We all witnessed this last year when, because of the pandemic, many of us were deprived of this honor and privilege of attending the gatherings under the tent of Hussein. And so that should make us more appreciative of these opportunities. So I don't know if we were able to appreciate them fully. I don't know if we're able to fully grasp the beauty of the gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has offered us in the form of Hussein. I don't know if we were able to reach the status of the one who is about to step into the courtyard of the majestic mausoleum of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and says as part of the visitation rituals, Alhamdulillah alladhi hadani lihada وما كنا نهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. Thank you, O Lord, for bringing me to the doorstep of Hussein. Thanking you for pointing me to the ark of Hussein. Thank you, O Lord, for showing me, for making me familiar with the beautiful name of Hussein. Thank you for allowing me to anchor my ship to his. Thank you for making me come to these gatherings and make some solid commitments of repenting to Allah, of turning back into the companionship of Imam al-Hussein, of deciding to go to ziyarah, of choosing to be a better representation of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. As I said last night, the Holy Prophet declares, Bil Hussein tas'udun. وَبِالْحُسَيْنِ تَشْقُونَ. Hussein is the gate of paradise. Hussein is the pathway to salvation and happiness and everything that is good in this world. Wallah, tallah, my dear brothers and sisters, there is no greater honor than to be in the vicinity of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, than to be in the service of Imam al-Hussein. I said this to a brother last night. I said it's absolutely critical that in this tumultuous, confusing world of ours that we happen to live in, it's important that we establish a direct link with Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Not just to attend his gatherings once a year, although that is absolutely incredible and necessary, but to actually create a connection with him that lasts throughout the year. A connection of some sort or another. I'll let you choose that for yourselves. You don't have to be rich to serve Imam al-Hussein. You don't have to be in a position of authority. Have you not seen these little girls on the way to Karbala during Ziyaratul Arba'een? Some of whom just stand there and they give tissue papers to the Zuwar. Some give toothpick to the Zuwar. Some can only afford to give a cup of water to the Zuwar. As long as you anchor your boat to the ark of Hussein alayhi salam. Think about what you can do, how you can serve his cause. If you can guide people to the light of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. There are too many people out there, brothers and sisters, who don't know Hussein, who have been duped and deceived and conned into losing their moral compass with regards to Imam al-Hussein. Too many people who fasted this day, fasted following the tradition of Bani Umayyah, who gave thanks to God for their victory over the camp of Imam al-Hussein. But when you speak to them, when you talk to them, they have no clue. All they know about is that it's good to fast on the day of Ashura. I said to somebody once, I said, let me ask you this question. Whether the ship of Nuh rested on the day of Ashura, whether God forgave Adam on the day of Ashura, whether somehow all of these historical events coincided to happen on the day of Ashura or not is a discussion we can have until kingdom come. But let me ask you this simple question. If Rasulullah was here today, would he not be standing at the door of the Majlis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein to receive the mourners of his grandson? Would Rasulullah not be the first to lament the ultimate tragedy, the killing of his offspring, his sons and daughters? Why are you then celebrating the day of Ashura? Why? Shouldn't you follow the sunnah of Rasulullah if you truly care about the sunnah? Ask yourself this simple question. There are too many people who have been conned and deceived. Invite them to the light of Imam al-Hussein. Let them hear the detailed accounts, the passion narrative of Abu Abdullah, the maqtal of Imam al-Hussein. And if there is any trace of goodness in their hearts, they will find their way back. But do something. Do it for yourself, do it for your family. Prioritize yourself, your own spiritual development, your own connection to the ahlebait. Try and embody the verse of the Quran, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. I ask you for no recompense but the love of my family. God instructs the Prophet to say this. The reward of the Prophet is to love his family. Embody that within yourself. Love the Ahlul Bayt, and by loving them, try and find out what they had to say. Read Nahjul Balagha, teach it to your children and your siblings. Read Sahif al-Sajjadiyah, teach it to your children and your siblings and those around you. These 3 books, if only we studied these books, we read them, we tried to understand them, we would create the perfect model of someone who applies this verse of mawaddah. What are they? The Holy Quran, Nahjul Balagha, As-Sahif Al-Sajjadiyah. And especially when it comes to Nahjul Balagha and Sahif Al-Sajjadiyah, you don't need a scholar, you don't need a teacher. You could simply read it, read the translation, refer to some commentaries, as groups of brothers and sisters create study circles and do this on a continuous basis. The hadith says, قَلِيلٌ دَائِمٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن كَثِيرٍ مُنْقَطِعٍ. A small act or deed that continues is better than a big deed that stops. قَلِيلٌ دَائِمٌ. Hold gatherings just between you and your friends, in your home, on a weekly basis, on a fortnightly basis, on a monthly basis, where you study a little bit of the Quran, a little bit of Nahj al-Balagha, a little bit of As-Sahif al-Sajjadiyah. Try and uplift yourselves. Try and develop and advance your connection to Imam al-Hussain. Build on what you have created in these 10 nights, brothers and sisters. Build on that. Develop it. Inshallah, we're able to continue that relationship and that connection with Imam al-Hussain until we're able to meet him on the Day of Judgment, where we can expect to reap the rewards that Allah has promised to the lovers of Abu Abdullah. Now, whether or not we've appreciated these 10 nights, whether or not we've been able to establish that connection, the sad, sobering reality is that on this night we say, Wada'an ya Hussain. Goodbye ya Abu Abdullah. We say Wada'an ya Hussain, but we also have to say Salaman to a set of new things. Wada', goodbye to Hussain, but Salam to Zainab al-Aqila. Because after Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, after that standard fell, the one to carry that standard is Zainab binti Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Fatimat az-Zahra. We say Salaman ya Zainab, Salam to captivity, Salam to the burning of the tents, Salam to having to take care of those orphans, Salam to unimaginable pain, Salam to the humiliation of standing in the court of Ubaydullah and Yazid ibn Muawiyah. Salam to the kind of patience that would rival the greatest of mountains. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, Zainab saw things on the day of Ashura that no man or woman could ever withstand. Not just women, no human being. A lot of you are tired. I myself feel tired. But you know who never felt tired? It was Zainab binti Amir al-Mu'mineen. Today, Zainab beat her head so many times. Zainab was running around all day long. The tragedy of Imam al-Hussain is unbearable. La yawm ka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah, as Imam al-Hasan said to him. But part of what makes La yawm ka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah is the aftermath of the killing of Abu Abdullah. This is a household that doesn't shy away from martyrdom. It's a household that embraces death when it comes to them. Imam al-Hussain himself said, Inni la ara al-mawt illa sa'adah wal hayat ma'a al-zalimeen illa barama. I don't see death except as a means of happiness, eternal bliss, while life with the oppressors is nothing but misery. This is the same household that said, Ala labnu Abi Talib, the son of Abu Talib, yearns for the day he rests and dies more than a child yearns to suckle from his mother's breasts. This is a household that Imam Zainul Abidin expressed this about when he said, La, to us, martyrdom is an honor. Al-mawtu lana 'adah wa karamatuna min Allah ash-shahada. Wasn't it Abu Hamza al-Thumali, who came to him. And he said to him, Ya ibn Rasulullah, you've been crying all these years. Isn't it time you rest? Isn't it time you find solace? Isn't it time you find some comfort? And then he said this to him. He said, أَلَيْسَ الْمَوْتُ لَكُمْ عَادًا وَكَرَامَتُكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ الشَّهَادَةِ. Isn't it the case that death to you is a habit and martyrdom is an honor from God? The Imam responded by saying, may Allah bless you, Ya Aba Hamza. I know you mean well. Yes, death is a habit for us. ما منا إلا مقتول أو مسموم. The Prophet said, none of us dies of natural causes, including the Prophet himself. We either get killed or we get poisoned to death. We're used to this. And yes, we take martyrdom as an honor from God. But let me ask you a question, Ya Aba Hamza. Since when have you heard that our women would be taken as captive by these vicious beasts? Allahu Akbar. La yawm ka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. A lot of things happened after the killing of Aba Abdullah. Ya Wali Allah, Ajarak Allah, Ya Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. The first thing they did, Umar ibn Sa'ad said, I want 10 horsemen to volunteer. What do you want them to do? He said, I have instructions from Yazid that when Hussein gets killed, that we then trample over his body and the body of his companions. May Allah bless the ones who call out, Wa Husayna, Wa Shahida, Wa Ghariba, Wa Mazluma. 10 people came forward. Historians say we looked into their lineage. They were all born out of wedlock. They came forward and said, we are ready. Umar ibn Sa'ad said, check the shoes of the horses. Make sure they're as sharp as can be. Make sure the horses are fresh so that they're not tired. Then he said, now you can go and crush those bodies. There are indications in some of our reports and scriptures that the difference between Imam Hussain and the other companions was that when the companions were crushed, they had already been killed. But there are reports that suggest that there was still a trace of life in Abu Abdullah. When the horses came to trample on their bodies, they had their first round. Allahu Akbar. Ya Sahib al-Asri wal-Zaman. When they were done, they then said, now turn the bodies over on their backs. Go over them one more time. They say that Lady Zainab came into the tent where Imam Zainul Abidin was. She said to him, Ya Baqiyat al-Awwaleen wa ya Thumalat al-Akhirin. I can hear the sound of glass jars breaking. What is all that? Imam Zainul Abidin said to her, those are not glass jars, those are the bones of my father's chest. She said to him, what do we do? Is there something that's going to happen? In other words, will there be a miracle? Is something going to come to help us? Imam Zainul Abidin said, alaykunna bil firar. Run into the desert. There is nothing you can do. Allahu Akbar, the enemy camp charged at the camp of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. They were celebrating in euphoria. They were enjoying their victory. They did not understand. They were like beasts and animals. They had no more mercy in their hearts when they attacked the tent. Umar ibn Sa'ad said, أحرقوا بيوت الظالمين. Burn down their tents. Allahu Akbar, those tents of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein that we talked about, the Imam going from tent to tent, those tents are no more tonight. They set the tents on fire. The women, the children, all these orphans who were shocked by the killing of their fathers and their uncles and their brothers. They were traumatized, they were terrorized. As if that wasn't enough, they then burned down their tents. Then they came after Abu Abdullah. Remember when I told you on the first night of these 10-night series, when Imam al-Ridha describes the killing of Imam al-Hussein, the way a sheep is slaughtered, I mentioned two similarities between a sheep being slaughtered and Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. But I left the third similarity to tonight. One similarity is this, that when they slaughter a sheep in a festivity, in a village, you find that everyone flocks to that sheep to take a piece of it. When they killed Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, they then attacked his body. The traditions tell us that there were 1,900 wounds afflicting Abu Abdullah. A shirt that has had 19 wounds, what value does it have? But they wanted to show that we have avenged our forefathers in Badr and Hunain. They were trying to humiliate Abu Abdullah. They were trying to terrorize Zainab and the daughters of Imam al-Hussein. So they came to his body. They tore off his shirt and stole it, leaving the Imam shirtless under the scorching sun. A man came to him. He noticed Abu Abdullah had a ring in his finger. Ya Sahib al-Amri wal-Zaman. He didn't bother to take the ring off of the Imam's finger. He pulled out his dagger. Aywa Husayna wa madluma. That is what they did to the daughters of Abu Abdullah. One of the daughters of Imam al-Hussein says, I was standing watching this scene in horror. The tents burning, the children and the women running, these horsemen pillaging and ransacking everything they could take. Anything worth taking they took away from us. Then a man on a horse noticed me. She says, as soon as our eyes locked, he began to charge in my direction. She ran. How fast can a little girl run? By the time the horse caught up with her, she says he used the back of a spear to poke me. I fell to the ground over my face. I fell unconscious for a few seconds. I woke up only to see him coming towards me. He went for my earrings. He grabbed the earrings, didn't take them off. He simply pulled them, cutting both my ears. Aywa Husayna wa madluma. Another one says, Fatima al-Kubra, the daughter of Imam Hussain, her dress caught some fire. Imagine what happens to a girl when she sees that her clothes are on fire. She's running around with no set destination. Hamid ibn Muslim says that I noticed her. I went towards her. She was terrified of me. She thought I was there to pillage and ransack her hijab. She ran from me. I said, no, don't worry, I'm not here to hurt you. She says, oh man, have you ever read the Quran in your life? He said, yes. She said to him, have you read the verse, فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ? Don't treat the orphans with harshness. He said, yes. She said, well, أَنَا يَتِيمَةُ الْحُسَيْنِ. I am the orphan of Hussein. Don't do anything to me. He said, no, don't worry. I don't want to hurt you. I put out the fires. Then I said to her, let me take you to the river. You look like you're thirsty. I'm sure you're about to die. She came with him to the riverbank. I said to her, it's okay, you can drink. As soon as she saw the water, she said, how could I drink when my father just died of thirst? Allahu Akbar. One report says the two boys, they were the sons of Abdul Rahman ibn Aqil ibn Abi Talib. Zainab missed them at some point. She was trying to count the orphans and she noticed that these two were gone. So she went out looking for them. Eventually Zainab saw a part of their clothes behind a bush. She was happy, she found them. She went over to that bush. She noticed that they had dug a hole in the ground because the surface in the desert is extremely hot. But if you dig deep enough, you might get to sand that is a little damp and colder. She noticed that they had dug that hole, they had lifted their shirts, and they had lied on their bellies just to feel a little cold from the damp sand. They had embraced each other. Zainab was happy. She called out their names, but they didn't answer. News spread throughout the camp that these two boys had perished from thirst. Hamid ibn Muslim says, I went to Umar. I said to him, Ya Umar, do you want to kill these? Do you want to murder them, or do you want to take them alive? Umar said, no. I have a long mission with the women and children of Hussein. I want to parade them throughout the lands and humiliate them. I want to receive a prize from Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. One of them went to Ubaydullah. He said to him, املأ ركابي فضة أو ذهبا إني قتلت السيد المهذبا قتلت خير الناس أما وأبا. Fill my feet with gold and silver because I have killed the one who had the best of parents. I killed Hussein ibn Ali. Even Ubaydullah said to him, if you know you killed the one with the best of parents, why would you do it then? So Umar ibn Sa'ad said, no, I still have a lot to do with the family of Hussein. I don't want them dead. He said, in that case, Hamid ibn Muslim said, if you don't want them dead, then feed them, give them some water before they all perish, before they all die. So he said, fine, go give them water. He filled a container with water and came and offered it to the children of Aba Abdullah. The first one said, how could I drink when my father died thirsty? Even when the horse of Abu Abdullah came back to the tent, Imam al-Zaman describes the scene in Ziyaratul Nahiyah. The Imam said, فَلَمَّا رَأَيْنَا النِّسَاءَ فَرَسَكَ مَخْزِيًّا وعليه السرج ملوية خرجنا من الخدور على الخدود الآطمات. When they saw the horse come back without Aba Abdullah, because they didn't know what had happened to the Imam. They heard some things, they saw some things, but they still had hope that the Imam would come back. When the horse came empty, without the rider, without Aba Abdullah, that's when they all came out wailing, crying, beating their faces. They say one of the daughters of the Imam went up to the horse and said to him, tell me, did they feed my father a drink of water before they killed him or not? That's all I want to know. So Hamid ibn Muslim offered the water to these girls. Each one after the other refused to drink. What good will the water do when the one who used to bring us the water is no longer alive? What good the water will do when Abbas is not with us, when Akbar isn't with us? What good the water will do when Asghar died of thirst? When Hussein was thirsty, they refused until they got to Hussein's 3-year-old daughter. She took the cup, to everyone's shock, but then she did something that broke everyone's heart. She took the water and headed towards the battlefield saying, Abata, I heard you were thirsty. Father, I heard you were saying, Ana Atshan. I brought you water, my father. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أيوا حسينا وغريبا ومظلوما. When it was nighttime, the most difficult of Zainab's mission began. Putting these bereaved, shocked, traumatized children and women to sleep. Zainab knows that the road ahead is a long one. They can use all the rest they can get. So Zainab would go to this woman who would say, Ammati Zainab, where is my brother? She'd then go to the other one and console her. And she would say, where is my father? Where is my son? She would give comfort to each of these women and each of these orphans. And then Zainab noticed that there is one who is missing. One of these women was missing. She left the tents looking for this grieving mother. Allahu Akbar. She was looking for the one whose loss is indescribable. The one who, when they returned to Medina, historians say that she never went under a shadow until she died. The one who never got to say goodbye to Aba Abdullah. Zainab settled into the night, only to hear a lullaby. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? Zainab settled into the night, only to hear a faint lullaby. Even with a back that's now bent, she went looking behind the tent. It's a mother, Allahu Akbar. It's a mother, it is Rubab, a lioness seeking her cub. It's a mother, it is Rubab. Wa Rubaba, a lioness seeking her cub. Zainab, I've been near and far. What are you looking for, Rubab? Zainab, I've been near and far, but cannot find my asghar. I don't know if you've ever seen a father or a mother who's lost a young child. Sometimes they're in shock. You tell them that they've passed on, but they wouldn't believe you. They're like, no, my son is still alive. He was with me just a few hours ago. Zainab, I've been near and far, but cannot find my asghar. To Harmala I want to say, what did we do to see this day? What did we do to you? My boy is gone, he won't return. With it my heart will always burn. I shake his crib, but he is gone. Abdullah's gone, Abdullah's gone. Asghar is gone. Say it with Rubab. Asghar is gone. Asghar is gone. Asghar is gone.
Salam. Salam. सलाम खाक नशीनों पे सोगवारों का, गरीब देते हैं पुरसा तुम्हारे प्यारों का। सलाम उन पे जिन्हें शर्म खाए जाती है, खुले सरों पे असीरी की खाक आती है। सलाम उस पे जो ज़हमत कशे सलासिल है, मुसीबतों में इमामत की पहली मंजिल है। सलाम भेजते हैं अपनी शाहज़ादी पर के जिसको सौंप गए मरते वक्त घर सरवर। मुसाफिरत ने जिसे बेबसी ये दिखलाई, निसार कर दिए बच्चे न बच सका भाई। असीर हो के जिसे शामियों के नर्गे में हुसैनियत है सिखाना अली के लहजे में। सकीना बीबी तुम्हारे गुलाम हाजिर हैं, बुझे जो प्यास तो अशकों के जाम हाजिर हैं। ये सिन ये हश्र ये सदमे नए नए बीवी, कहाँ पे बैठी हो खैमे तो जल गए बीवी। पहाड़ रात बड़ी देर है सवेरे में, कहाँ हो शाम में ग़रीबां के घुप अंधेरे में। ज़मीं गरम यतीमी की सख्तियाँ बीबी, वो सीना जिस पे के सोती थी अब कहाँ बीबी। जनाबे मादरे बेशीर को भी सबका सलाम, अजीब वक्त है क्या दें तसल्लियों का पैगाम। अभी कलेजे में एक आग सी लगी होगी, अभी तो गोद की गर्मी न कम हुई होगी। नहीं अंधेरे में कुछ सूझता किधर ढूंढें, तुम्हारा चांद कहाँ छुप गया किधर ढूंढें। ना इस तरह कोई खेती हरी भरी उजड़ी, तुम्हारी मांग भी उजड़ी है गोद भी उजड़ी। नहीं लाइनों में इंसान कोई खुदा हाफिज, दरिंदे और ये बेवार सी खुदा हाफिज। शरीक हक को दरूदो सलाम ए पैगंबर, सलाम सैयदे लौलाक के लुटे घर पर। सलाम मोहसिने इस्लाम खश्तातन लाशो, सलाम तुम पे शहीदों के बेकफन लाशो। सलाम तुम पे रसूलो बतूल के प्यारो, सलाम मोहरे
इमामत के गिर्द सैयारो बचे तो अगले बरस हम हैं और ये गम फिर है जो चल बसे तो ये अपना सलाम आखिर है। Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein. Ya Hussein, 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 Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ न किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा सब मिलकर रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा आके ज़ैनब आबिद बचावा याग बुझावा आबिद बचावा याग बुझावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा आबिद बचावा याग बुझावा आबिद बचावा याग बुझावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटियां रिदावा रोआ के ज़ैनब किसी पास जावा यूसुफ तो सोने मेरे वीर मारे मैं शाम चलिया बेकफन सारे यूसुफ तो सोने मेरे वीर मारे मैं शाम चलिया बेकफन सारे कबरा बनावा या रसिया पावा कबरा बनावा या रसिया पावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटिया रे दावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटिया रे दावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मैं दीन बचाऊं मैं दी बचावे विच शाम आए सब लोग वेखे मेरी बेरदाई मैं दी बचावे विच शाम आए सब लोग वेखे मेरी बेरदाई खुतबे सुनावा या मुँह लुकावा खुतबे सुनावा या मुँह लुकावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटिया रे दावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटिया रे दावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा खैमे चिकासन दी लाश आए चुम चुम के टुकड़े कवे ज़ारा चाहे खैमे चिकासन दी लाश आए चुम चुम के टुकड़े कवे ज़ारा चाहे हुण सेरे लावा या सब विछावा हुण सेरे लावा या सब विछावा रो आके ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटिया रे दावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटिया रे दावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा जिस वीर दे लई छड़िया मदीना जिवें कत्ल होया भुलना कदीना जिस वीर दे लई छड़िया मदीना जिवें कत्ल होया भुलना कदीना उन कफन पावा या शाम जावा उन कफन पावा या शाम जावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मेरा घर जलाया लुटिया रे दावा रो आखे ज़ैनब किस पासे जावा मेरा दावा रो आखे ज़ैनब पासे जावा मेरा घर जलाया कैसे याद नहीं आले नबी पे ये कैसा आया है ये इम्तिहान आले नबी पे ये कैसा आया है ये इम्तिहान अकबर अब्बास और कासिम हो तुम कहाँ अकबर अब्बास और कासिम हो तुम कहाँ हो तुम कहाँ अल्लामान 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 गुस्ताखों के हजूम में, गुस्ताखों के हजूम में ज़ैनब थी दरमियां। अल्लामा 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 अल्लामा। हैरान हूँ बाजार से कैसे गुजर गए, हैरान हूँ बाजार से कैसे गुजर गए। ततहीर के पले थे, ततहीर के पले थे बाजार का समा। अल्लामा 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 अल्लामा। या हुसैन सल्लु अला मुहम्मद। From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. Once again, from Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. The luminous moon lighting my way, the luminous moon lighting my way, the rising sun that brightens my day. Heaven without you would be in flames. You're the heaven of Karbala. Your visitors offer you their hands. Enemies will never understand. How can the water lose to the sand? How can the thirst win in Karbala? Oh, heaven is opening, Ya Hussain. Oh, angels descending, Ya Hussain. Oh, they are reciting in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. The hand of God that nurtures the young, speaking for Allah, you were the tongue, separating his right from the wrong, elevated in Karbala. The hand of God that nurtures the young, speaking for Allah, you were the tongue, separating his right from the wrong, elevated in Karbala. The ship that sails swiftly through the waves, and whoever boards your ship is safe, immune from the punishment of the grave. Whoever mourned you in Karbala, when will we meet again, Ya Hussain? When under your dome will I grieve again? From Najaf will I walk to Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to from in Karbala, from Karbala to Karbala. To Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Hussain looked towards the right and the left, but nobody remained. Hussain looked towards the right and the left, but nobody remained. Zainab's face filled with sorrow and fear. This was that promised day. From the day Hussain was born, it placed into the Prophet's arms. Jibreel was the khatib, reading Hussein's masa'ib. Now the day has come and he bids farewell to his family. Now the day has come and he bids farewell to his family. Zainab kisses his chest, he returns one on each of her wrists. Zainab kisses his chest, he returns one on each of her wrists. Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. With me, shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussain, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. The armor placed upon his blessed chest, Hussain prepares for war. The armor placed upon his blessed chest, Hussain prepares for war. This broken man climbs on his horse's back, but the horse just stands still. A small girl tugs at its leg, she can't bear to be apart. Too many horses have gone, not one rider did return. Baba, how can you leave me alone without a protector? Baba, how can you leave me alone without a protector? Let me feel the soothing embrace of your chest just one last time. Let me feel the soothing embrace of your chest just one last time. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes. Approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes. Into the battlefield, Ali's son rode, trained to fight by Haydar. Into the battlefield, Ali's son rode, trained to fight by Haydar. Of his lineage he reminded them, the enemy scattered. The left flank Hussein chased right, the right he destroyed as well. He instilled fear in their hearts, he fought for a sincere cause. Until arrows showered on Hussein's body from all around. Until arrows showered on Hussein's body from all around. And not even an inch of his skin was left without a wound. And not even an inch of his skin was left without a wound. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Upon a bed of arrows, Hussein fell down, balancing in midair. Upon a bed of arrows, Hussein fell down, balancing in midair. His holy blood gushed out from every his holy blood gushed out from every wound, dyeing his pure beard red. Tens of men attacked Hussein, they kicked and beat our master, even his finger chopped off. Then one cursed man stepped forward. Shimmer sat on the son of Zahra and grabbed his blessed beard. Shimmer sat on the son of Zahra and grabbed his blessed beard. With his knife he hacked and severed the head of Mawla Hussein. With his knife he hacked and severed the head of Mawla Hussein. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. One last time. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes, cover your eyes. Shimmers approaching, Hussein, cover your eyes.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, 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 Hussein.
ای که مرا خوانده این راه نشانم بده، ای که مرا خوانده این راه نشانم بده، گوشه ای از کربلا جا و مکانم بده، گوشه ای از کربلا جا و مکانم بده. ای که به عشقت اسیر خیل بنی آدمند، سوختگان غمت با غم دل خرمند، هر که غمت را خرید عشرت عالم فروخت، با خبران غمت بی خبر از عالمت. حسین وای 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 حسین وای. گشت و چو در کربلا حسین 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 حسین، گشت و چو در کربلا رایت عشقت بلند، خیل ملک در رکوع پیش لبانت خمند، خاک سر کوی تو زنده کند مرده را، زان که شهیدان تو جمله مسیحا دمند. حسین وای حسین وای حسین وای حسین وای حسین وای حسین حسین وای. هر که دارد هوس کربلا بسم الله، به ابی انت و امی یا ابا عبدالله. حسین 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 چه کسی تو را کشته، عالمو بیچاره کرده، زینب آواره کرده. حسین 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 حسین. ابوالفضل 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 ابوالفضل. یا زینب یا زینب یا زینب یا زینب یا زینب یا زینب یا حیدر یا حیدر یا حیدر یا حیدر یا حیدر یا حیدر 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 حیدر
حیدر حیدر حیدر حیدر حیدر حیدر حیدر حیدر و بن حسن 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 یا مهدی یا مهدی یا مهدی یا مهدی یا مهدی برادر جان سلیمان زمانی وای چرا انگشتر نداری برادر جان سلیمان زمانی وای چرا انگشتر نداری چرا بر تن برادر سر نداری وای بمیرم من مگر مادر ندار یه مرتبه نگاه کردن دیدن هوا تو صحن کربلا تیر متار شد اصلا انگار اوضاع کربلا دگرگون شد چه خبره همه منتظرن ببینن چه اتفاقی افتاده یه وقت نگاه کردن دیدن از سمت گودال داره صدای تکبیر میاد حسین جان بمیرم با تکبیر کشتنت خودم دیدم حسین را سر بریدن خودم دیدم که در خونش کشیدن خودم دیدم گلوی اصغرم را خودم در بر کشیدم اکبرم را شام غریبان ابی عبدالله نوای امشب دیگه همینه یتیمی درد بی درمان یتیمی وای یتیمی خاری دوران یتیمی اگر کشتن چرا آبت ندادن وای تو را از آن در نایابت نداد السلام علی العطشان السلام علی المظلوم السلام علی الشهید اگر کشتن چرا خاکت نکردن حسین 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 کفن بر جسم سجاکت نکردن آخ کفن بر جسم سجاکت نکردن حسین جان حسین جان حسین بأبي المستضعف الغريب يا مظلوم ويا عطشان يا أبا عبد الله بدم المظلوم يا الله 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 يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك واكفنا يا قاضي الحاجات ويا كافي المهمات إنك على كل شيء قدير برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. As the last thing of our majalis, let's recite the dua for the health of Imam Zaman. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma kun waliyyak al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka alayhi في هذا الصام وفي كل الصام وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك وتمتعه فيها طويلا للأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات.